Well, you're thinking about moving to Utah and you want to know some reasons why you wouldn't want to move to Utah? Well, in this video, I'm going to give you 9 reasons that Utah might not be the right place for you. Me and my family, we just moved from Tennessee about 2 years ago, so I'm going to give you my honest, brutal truth about why you wouldn't want to move to Utah and maybe why you should. So I'm getting after it right now. Welcome back. I'm Greg Spackman. I'm with the Living in Salt Lake City channel. So if you want to learn everything about what it's like to live here, eat here, sleep here, play here in Utah, then click the subscribe button and click the little bell to be notified every time I do a new video. I do a new video typically once or twice a week on different parts of Utah and different things about Utah. I have been getting a ton of you that are reaching out to me that are wanting to move here. So please give me a call, send me a text, give me an email. I'd love to talk to you about making your move here to Utah. Number 1 is the weather here, and let me walk you through the weather since we've been here for the 2 years. The first year that we got here, the summer was super hot. It was 95 to 105 most days through the summer. We moved in July, and by September, we were looking forward to the cooler weather. Well, it got cold really fast, and it stayed cold through the fall. Fall was really cool. The leaves changing, all of that was amazing. I'd never seen leaves like that, the colors and everything before in my life. We had seen the fall changing in Nashville, but nothing like what we were able to experience here. Wintertime, it got some snow. Wasn't that much. I think it dumped maybe a foot once or twice, and it wasn't really a big deal. My mom, who grew up in Utah, told us, "You're going to hate the weather there. It snows all the time," and that's why she lives in Southern California, to get away from that sort of weather. Then we went into spring, and spring was awesome. It had gotten warmer. It was in the 50s, 60s, 70s in spring, and then summer came along, and last summer was pretty amazing. It wasn't super hot. It was just a nice summer. Took my Jeep out. We did lots of hikes. I think I did 8 or 10 hikes to different waterfalls and different other hikes, Suspension Bridge hike and Draper. There are just a lot of different things that we did to enjoy the outdoors. And then then came fall. Fall was a normal fall. And then we took a drive and got to go see the leaves change, and that was super cool this year. Then it got into winter time, and we've gotten the most snow that I think they've ever gotten in Utah, ready for the snow to be done. It just snowed a couple days ago. Again, not enough on the ground as far as driving to affect drivability, but my yard now has 4 or 5 inches of snow again, and that should melt off by next week since it says it's going to be in the 50s and 60s. But we'll see where that goes. But weather here can have some extreme changes, and you're definitely going to have snow. The first year we didn't get as much snow as we got this year, so next year it'll be interesting to see if we get more snow. We have an all-wheel drive car and my 4-wheel drive Jeep, so we have no issues at all driving at any time on the roads with either of those 2 cars. It's been a challenge with my daughter's car that's front-wheel drive. She will take one of our cars in the snow just because we don't feel as comfortable having her drive in the snow like that. But I've heard snow tires definitely help as far as that goes. But so that's the weather for what I know so far. So number 2 on the list that might make you not want to move to Utah would be the political scene in Utah. Utah is a red state, probably will always remain a red state. However, it's getting closer and closer to being equal. So this last 2022 election, it went pretty heavily red. It's pro-life here. They're pro-gun. There's certain areas where it's really, really red, and then there's other areas as the closer you get to Salt Lake City where you get more and more blue. So you're going to find a 50-50 split in most areas that you're going to choose to live in. And it just depends on what you're looking for. So by reaching out to me, I can definitely point you and help you get in that right location if it's one thing or another that you're looking for. But you shouldn't let politics make your decision as far as moving here. Or maybe that is one of the reasons you want to move here to Utah. Just know that it has almost a 50-50 split now. Number 3 on the list is the religious aspect of Utah. We were told before we moved here that Utah is a huge Mormon or LDS town, and that if you're not Mormon or LDS, that you're just not going to like it there. However, I can tell you they're nothing further from the truth. After living here for 2 years, we don't see any sort of issues with it. Our kids go to school here. They don't seem to have any sort of issue with it. Anybody else that I talk to, clients and everything, doesn't really matter. The Mormon faith is a good family faith, and they are super friendly and nice and giving and caring for the most part. You're going to find that they are good neighbors to have. And if you are one, then that's great too. So knowing all of that, I wouldn't let religion be a reason that you don't choose Utah. You're going to find it in certain areas is more religious than others, and you're going to need to know that ahead of time if that's a problem for you, or you're not of that faith, or you're the number 4 reason that you might not want to move here to Utah is taxes. Utah is a flat tax state. Currently, it's 4.85% flat tax on whatever you earn. It doesn't seem to matter what income you have. It's all equal. So that's a good thing and a bad thing, I guess. It just got lowered to 4.65%. So yay for us next year that it's less. Sales tax here is 6.1%. And it has a max local tax they can tack on another 2.95%. So you're looking at almost 9% taxes and a state income tax, which for us sucks because moving from Nashville, we had no state income tax and a 9% sales tax. So that's not a great thing. However, our property taxes here are the 8th lowest in the nation. So that's a good thing as far as your property taxes go. Our corporate taxes are 5% here in Utah. So if you run your own business and have a corporation, then that's some good thing to know. And that's it for taxes. So hopefully that could be a plus or could be a minus for you. The number 5 reason you might not want to move here would be that you drink a lot of liquor. And the liquor laws here in Utah are pretty strict. Actually, they're the strictest in the nation. They have a 0.05% blood alcohol content for driving, which leads you to not being able to drink very much at all and then go drive your car, which I guess is a good thing, that you really shouldn't be drinking and driving. If you want anything higher than 3.2% alcohol, you're going to need to go to a state-run liquor store to get that. So if you want Jack Daniels or vodka or whatever, you're going to be going to the state-run liquor stores. Those are only open Monday through Saturday. They aren't open on Sundays or holidays, and then they close at certain times. So you'll want to check into that. The 3.2%, you're going to be able to get beer or hard seltzer type drinks, those at the grocery store or at the gas station. So know that you're not going to be getting anything of the good stuff. You're going to have to go to the state-run liquor store again. So that's pretty much our liquor laws here. They are weird. They do have a weird thing with the restaurants, so you will not be able to eat with your kids in the bar if they make mixed drinks at the bar. So at like Chili's, they will make drinks, the mixed drinks and all that are around the corner, so then you can eat in the bar with your kids. So while I don't understand that, that's the way it is in Utah. It used to be much worse than that. They used to have like a membership fee you had to pay to be able to go into bars and clubs in downtown. They don't have that anymore, which that's great. They got rid of that. Just know that liquor laws here are kind of unique. The number 6 reason that you wouldn't want to move to Utah, and that's the drivers. And holy cow, we have some of the worst drivers that I've seen anywhere. I thought Nashville had really, really bad drivers. Thought Southern California had terrible drivers. We have some of the worst drivers here. They don't seem to know what a turn signal is. Love to drive 80, 90, 100 miles an hour on the freeway and ride your butt. And I can't tell you how many times I'll be going 75 or 80 in the fast lane. Some idiot will come up behind me and just sit on my bumper, and then I'll move over, let them go on, and then they go up to the next person and sit right behind them 5 feet from them. And it drives me nuts when people drive like that. They could have easily went around me if they wanted to, or they could just, chill and go some sort of bit above the speed limit, but they just drive like 100 miles an hour to the next car and then wait for that car to do something, and they never move out of the way. Just know that the drivers here are not good, and you'll have to make an adjustment and drive a little bit more defensively here than maybe you would where you're coming from. One cool thing is that our speed limits here are pretty high. Throughout most of Utah, you're able to do 80 miles an hour on the freeway, which is awesome, since that gets you from point A to point B really fast, especially when you go from like St. George to Salt Lake City. It's 80 that whole way pretty much. Once you get below Nephi, it's like 80 all the way down to St. George. Number 7 on the list is something I didn't even notice before we moved here. And I happened to find it when we wanted to buy a lottery ticket for one of the big Powerballs that was 1.5 billion, I think. Wanted to buy tickets for that. Well, we found out that Utah has 0 gambling in it. You're going to have to go to Wendover, Nevada, if you want to do any sort of real gambling and poker and that sort of thing. Or you can go up into Idaho and they have slot machines, some of the casinos there. Otherwise, you're driving down to Vegas. If you want lottery tickets, for instance, you can't even get those in Nevada. You're going to have to go to Arizona, which just happens to be in between St. George and Las Vegas. You're going to go through a part of Arizona where you'll be able to buy lottery tickets. But we didn't know that, and it was kind of a shock that they didn't have the lottery here or any sort of gambling. Tried to find some gambling halls online. I Googled and tried to find, like, are there any clubs that play Texas Hold'em? And it said there were, but then when I did more research, none of those places are open anymore. So I don't even think you could play like Texas Hold'em at a private club anywhere here in Utah as well. Number 8 here for reasons not to live in Utah or move to Utah is the food scene. And while I have yet to find a Mexican place that's great here, we've tried a bunch of different ones. Number 8 would be the food scene. I haven't found it to be all that great here in Salt Lake City. The only thing that I found that's really, really good here is the sushi. I've been to a couple different places and it's actually really good here. I think it's better than where we were in Nashville. Not as good as in Southern California. However, I don't know if you're going to find somewhere better than Southern California for sushi. Mexican food, haven't found anywhere that I like here really good. In Nashville, we had some good Mexican places there to eat at, and you wouldn't even think Nashville would have good Mexican food. However, what we have here is pretty poor. Love for someone to come in and make some decent Mexican food here in Utah. Just it doesn't happen. There's a decent burger place here if you've been to Lucky's. That's pretty good as far as a burger goes. One of the advantages, I guess, to Utah over Nashville for me was we have In-N-Out Burger. If you're an In-N-Out Burger, comment below. Let me know that you like In-N-Out. If you like Five Guys, let me know if you like that. I'm curious to know what some of your favorite places are here to eat in Utah. Drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you about what you like, if you agree with the Mexican food, if you don't. We did eat at Red Iguana up in downtown Salt Lake, and that's pretty decent Mexican food. However, it's not what I'm used to or what I consider to be great Mexican food. Is just decent. Number 9 on the list would be the cost of housing, or why you wouldn't want to move here to Utah. If you love paying a lot for rent, rent is pretty high here in Utah, so it's not going to be cheap rent. You're going to find anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment in most cities, and $2,000 to $3,000 a month for a 3, 4, 5-bedroom home in most cities. It isn't cheap to rent. Housing costs here, the median home price is $475,000 right now. However, most cities you seem to be in that $550 to $650 range for a 4-bedroom home that's in a nice area. And it's pretty crazy as far as where prices have gone and where they used to be 2 years ago. I wish the housing here was much more affordable. However, everybody has moved here, which has driven up prices, as well as COVID just made the market go nuts everywhere across the U.S. You had home prices skyrocket. If these 9 reasons don't bother you, then you should consider moving to Utah. And if you're considering moving to Utah, give me a call so we can book a one-on-one Zoom session, get you on your way here to moving here. I can open up the map with you in Zoom and we can go over the different areas in Utah, find out what you're looking for, where you want to work, that sort of thing, what sort of activities you like to do, if you want to ski or you want to hike, or you want to go to the national parks that we have here in Utah, all of that, just reach out to me, give me a call, send me a text. I'd love to help you on your journey here to the Utah area. And until next time, be rad.